In this video, I will teach you how to study in the US for free. First, I will teach you how to research your options for free education in the US. Secondly, I will use step-by-step guidelines to show you how to prepare and submit your applications. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Obed. I love talking about education, finance, personal growth, and professional development. In today's video, I will be walking you through the step-by-step process of applying and securing a fully funded admission to universities in the United States. Just a quick trip down memory lane. In 2017, this was the Nokia phone I used to look up and research over 200 US universities back when I was still in Nigeria and about to start my journey to applying to US schools. Today, I'm fairly confident that the phone you have is much faster and more advanced than this one. Do you know what that means? It means you can do exactly what I did, and the best part is you have me to guide you. So, to get started, let's quickly go over some of the reasons you might want to consider studying in the United States. From a survey conducted in 2021, China tops the chart in countries that send the most international students to the US with 37%, followed by India with 18% and South Korea with 5%. Other countries include Saudi Arabia, Japan, Brazil, Taiwan, Vietnam, Mexico, Nigeria, Pakistan, Kenya, Iran, Ghana, Turkey, South Africa, Sri Lanka, and the list goes on. If you're from any of these countries or really anywhere else in the world, wondering if you're the only one considering an American education, guess what? You're not alone. There are a few reasons why over 1 million international students from around the world are choosing to further their education in the US. Instantly, the first thing that comes to mind is quality. Universities in the US are known worldwide for the quality of their research, faculties, facilities, resources, and global impact. The second reason to study in the US is diversity. And no, I'm not just talking about people with different skin colors. On US campuses, you can find a mix of people from different backgrounds and all corners of the globe. Keep in mind that more than 800,000 international students come to study in the United States each year. Some people simply love the diversity in ideas, people, culture, and food. No matter the form of diversity you might be interested in, the US is the best place to find it. The third reason to study in the US is value. Earning a US degree is an investment in your future and can offer excellent value for the money and time. But what's even better is that in this video, we are going to discover how to get this education without paying any money at all. So really, the only thing I am asking you to invest in this process is time. And that includes the time you spend watching this video. As far as I'm concerned, your journey to study in the United States for free has already started. Speaking of value, make sure you watch this video to the end and treat this content like a tutorial so that you can fully appreciate the value of what I am about to teach you. Besides these 3 classic points, there are so many other reasons why people decide to pursue their education in the US. In either case, make sure to identify your reason or reasons and write them down. This is important because such information will come in handy later in the process when you write essays for your application or get interviewed by potential professors who might be interested in you. Additionally, when you finally make it to the US, I promise you, you will not be able to count the number of times people will ask you why you moved to the US for school. So do spend some time and think about your why. A bonus reason why some people choose the US as a study abroad destination is better quality of life. For me, this was a big one. Regardless of what your reason is, make it clear to yourself before proceeding to step number 1 of how to study in the United States for free. Speaking of step number 1, that would be explore your options. Take a moment and let that sink in. Yes, you do have options. This is a stage where you need to choose the best programs that fit you and your goals. To complete this step, you will need to do 2 things. The first thing you need to do is define your education and career goals. This will come in handy when you write your personal statement and when you interview professors and US visa officers at the embassy. So spend some time and think about this. What you should do here is build a mental roadmap of how you see your career advancing in the coming years. You should have a clear answer to questions like, if everything worked out for me as planned. Where do I see myself in 5 years? What career do I want to pursue? Is employment available in this field? What advanced degree is required to enter this profession? Building a mental roadmap for your career requires some creative, imaginative skill where you are able to imagine what will happen in the near future. The most important thing here is it is your roadmap. So design something that will make you happy. The second thing you need to do under exploring your options step is to make your list of schools. Deciding on a program is one of the most important decisions you will make. This is a very crucial step in the process of your study abroad journey, as this will be the evidence that you actually researched your options. I have met a lot of people over the years who would reach out to me asking for help or guidance on how to go about starting their process of studying in the US for free. The most successful people by far are those who were able to take some initiative and come up with a list of schools by themselves. Surprisingly, there are people who want to study in the US for free but want somebody else to send them a list of schools to look at. While this is not the absolute worst thing in the world, it does not entirely show initiative. So getting help with your list is not exactly a big problem, but completely depending on someone else to research your options and come up with a list for you could potentially hurt you down the line when you eventually need to settle down and do certain things for yourself. I understand some people do not even know where to begin the research step from, but do not worry, pay close attention to the next steps as I guide you through how you can make your own list of schools to consider. It is important to note that at the graduate level, you can apply to courses that differ from your undergraduate degree. If you wish to do so, then by all means do apply to programs that excite you. This is part of the flexibility that comes with an American education. So to make your list of schools, the first thing you need to do is decide on a graduate degree to pursue. The two categories of graduate degrees offered in the United States are the master's and the doctoral degrees. Both involve a combination of research and coursework. The master's degree provides additional education or training in a specialized branch of knowledge. There are two categories of master's degrees, and those are academic and professional master's degree. The academic option is where you have Master of Art, the MA, and Master of Science, MS degrees, which are usually awarded in the traditional arts, sciences, engineering, agriculture, and humanities disciplines. Meanwhile, the professional master's degree is designed to lead students from a bachelor's degree to a particular profession. Such master's degrees have unique descriptive titles such as Master of Business Administration, the MBA, which I'm pretty sure you've heard of, Master of Social Work, MSW, Master of Education, MED, Master of Public Health, MPH, or Master of Fine Arts, MFA. Sometimes getting full funding for these specialized master's degrees can be a little bit more challenging than the academic ones. There are many others, I believe, but typically professional master's degrees are targeted towards direct application of knowledge than towards original research. Now, let's understand doctoral degrees. For doctoral degrees, they are designed to train research scholars in many cases. This is useful if you wish to become a university faculty member or a highly trained expert and authority in your field. The Doctor of Philosophy degree is the most common doctoral degree awarded in academic disciplines. For professional doctorate, you'll see degrees like Doctor of Education, EDD, Doctor of Business Administration, DBA. Please note that you do not need to have a master's degree in order to apply for any of these PhD programs or doctoral programs in the United States. You can apply for doctoral programs directly using your bachelor's degree. For example, I used my bachelor's degree to apply and get into a fully funded PhD program in the US back in 2018. So do not limit yourself. Now that you understand the different graduate degrees and have decided on the one to pursue, let's proceed to the second thing you should do when making your list of schools. Look up the official rankings for private and public institutions. The most popular website that ranks US universities based on various criteria is called usnews.com. If you go to your browser and type in graduate programs in the US, usnews.com, click on the first link, and it will bring you to the graduate school rankings homepage of the website. Here, you can scroll down and see the various disciplines that gets ranked yearly by usnews.com. Usually, when a school makes this list, regardless of their ranking here, it means they are one of the best in the country. For example, if I go to the programs and click the term chemistry, I can then search for university rankings strictly based on the performance of chemistry departments in the United States. Typically, this website starts the list with the schools that have the highest rankings, and we can see that only 212 universities made it to the list. That is out of almost 4,000 higher institutions that exist in the US. Do not belittle any school that appears on the list regardless of their ranking here. To further streamline your search, go to the location section and enter any state you like. For example, if you have friends in the state of Ohio and you would like to be closer to them, go ahead and type in Ohio. A drop-down menu will appear. Select Ohio and observe how the website rearranges the rankings, providing only universities in Ohio, starting with Ohio State University and moving down to Cleveland State University. Note that this list includes both private and public institutions. So you can try another state, say like Pennsylvania, and you can see how the list gets rearranged for that state. Once this is working correctly for you, you can go back to Ohio, for example, and dive deeper into any specific school on this ranking. If I decided to select Ohio State University, it brings me to their US News.com page, which will show me rankings of other programs in the university. So the key thing here is we now have a university of interest, assuming we were interested in Ohio State University. Copy the school's name and paste it in a browser, then type in chemistry PhD. If you are interested in a PhD, for example, then do that. Select either the first or second link and it will bring you to the department's website. You will learn quickly that in the US, almost every department in most universities have their web page for easy dissipation of information so that prospective students can easily find them and learn more about them. Alternatively, you can go to the homepage of the university's website and under Future Students, select Admissions. Next, select Graduate Admissions and you can see the option that says Consider Funding and Financial Aid. Sometimes, universities will assume you do not need financial support, so you have to choose to express interest. If they are not super clear about where they stand on the matter, you should scroll down and you will see other options for financial aid and fellowships. The cardinal rule here is to make sure that the school you are considering expressly state that they have full funding opportunities for applicants. These can be in the form of a teaching assistantship, research assistantship, or administrative assistantship. This means you will work for about 20 hours a week for your school, and in turn, they will offer you 100% tuition waiver. That is free education. That is also in addition to a generous stipend that covers your cost of living. In some exceptional cases, you can get offered a fellowship if you have excellent academic records, which means the school will waive your tuition fees and pay you money without you working for them. It's basically them paying you to attend school. Can you imagine that? You will notice here, it says to check the boxes for funding opportunities when applying to this school. Again, they can assume you do not need the money, so always keep an eye out for mentions of funding opportunities on any school's website that you navigate. Next, we can scroll back up and select Explore Programs. And in this window, select Degrees and Programs. What we are looking at here is the list of other programs offered by Ohio State University. If I go to Chemistry, I will arrive at the program page and I can check the true cost of attending this program. Yet, if I click on funding, you will notice how they made it clear that all students offered admission to Chemistry PhD program are guaranteed 5 years of financial support. That is exactly the kind of assurance you want to see on a program's page before selecting that program to be one of the schools on your list if you're targeting free education in the US. Next, you can check the admission criteria for this program and compare your record. Be honest with yourself and figure out if you're eligible for consideration into this program. To check out other programs, we can go back to the degrees and programs page and then select non-science. Let's select a non-science program. How about we choose history, for example. Let's start with the master's page. If we go to funding, you can see that there are funding opportunities available here, provided you meet the application deadline. Once you're able to meet the application deadline, you should be totally fine and will be considered for full funding opportunities. Do not forget to check out the admission criteria, as that would help you determine your eligibility for the program. Now, let's look at other programs. If we go back to the previous page, select Geography. You will see under the funding page that they do provide financial support as well for geography, provided you apply on time or you apply before the deadline ends. So, what if you're an engineering major? How about an engineering graduate degree? If we go back and search for mechanical engineering, we can click on it and go straight to the funding page. Here, you can see that it is expressly stated that PhD and MS, that's master's students, are fully supported by assistantships and fellowships. This just means if you have interest in mechanical engineering at all, you can obtain your graduate degree in mechanical engineering for free. If I did not mention the course you are interested in, well, go to the previous page and search for your program of choice. For instance, you can search for food science, and the website will bring up the link for food science department. If I select the master's option, it will bring me to the needed page as shown below. You can see that funding is available for food science and technology master's degree program here at this university. Do remember to keep track of the application deadlines for any program you are considering. You can see how long it has taken to navigate just one website. So imagine doing that for at least 100 schools and coming up with a list of at least 10 schools that you qualify for. If we go back to usnews.com, we can select the University of Cincinnati, for example, copy the university name and search for them, search for the school on Google, as we previously did with the other school. Click on the program, on the graduate program link, and keep your eyes out for links to financial aid and research areas. You can see that they have multiple areas of chemistry research for you to choose from. And regardless of your field of study as well, keep an eye out for the area of research because this will be important later down the line. Definitely explore the research options and professors leading certain research to make sure that they have a focus area that aligns with your interest. This is important because you will spend 2 to 5 years or even more years of your life focusing on that research. So make sure it is at least something that you will enjoy doing. Next, search for any link to financial support or financial aid. Here you can see they have funding for, say, all full-time students. So your main goal is to spend time figuring out how you can get into this program. Because if you do, the money just follows. They have full funding for any full-time student in the chemistry program at University of Cincinnati. A good page to always look for in any school's website is the prospective student page, as it provides useful information for you as a future student of that program. For this university, they also have funding for other programs such as the MFA, MA and PhD in English, MA and PhD in History, amongst many other fully funded programs. Just have fun with the website and explore your options, which is the point of this overall theme of discussion. If you follow all the steps I have shown so far, you will find that Miami University, for example, also provides full funding for their chemistry and biochemistry master's and PhD programs. Additionally, like most schools, they also show you how much money they will pay you as a graduate assistant. Similarly, the geology, environmental science, biology, history, geography, economics, English, and engineering graduate programs, amongst many others, are fully funded, for Miami University. So feel free to go check those out on your own time if any of that interests you. If we go back to usnews.com and remove the Ohio filter just for demonstration purposes and replace it with Pennsylvania as we did before, it will bring up all the schools in Pennsylvania that made it to the ranking. Next, you can start searching each school individually as I have demonstrated with Ohio State University and University of Cincinnati. For example, Temple University listed here offers fully funded master's and PhD in chemistry in addition to other fully funded programs offered by the university. Now that we understand how that works, let's talk about academic calendars and when is the best time to apply for schools. The fall semester starts in August/September. This is the first semester of the academic year and it often starts in mid-August or sometime in September. There is also a far less common scenario where some schools refer to this semester as the autumn semester. The academic year begins this semester and most financial aid and assistantships are offered during this period. So generally, when targeting fully funded admission, you are strongly advised to focus on fall semesters for admission. The spring semester starts in January. In this semester, classes begin sometime in January. Most universities admit new students during the semester, but the student intake is less compared to the fall semester. More importantly, the chances of getting financial aid during the semester is also lesser. Some universities call this the winter semester. It's usually very brutal with the snow for regions where they do have snow. Finally, the summer semester starts in May/June. This is the shortest of the 3 semesters and it spans for a period of 2 months. It usually begins in June and ends in July or early August. Only few universities have summer intakes around this time, so I generally do not advise any students to even think about the semester at all. Just focus on fall semester and you will be absolutely fine. To recap this entire section, you should develop your list of schools based on some key criteria. It may be useful to make a comparison chart listing the differences among universities. Consider asking yourself questions like, do you have the minimum entrance requirement for admission into a program? For example, do you have the minimum GPA required? If you do not, consider searching for schools that are lower on the rankings, since they can sometimes have more flexible requirements such as accepting applicants with low GPAs or poor standardized test scores. In either case, if your GPA is extremely low, consider searching or Google searching for schools that accept low GPA applicants, and that might help. Speaking of standardized tests, are you required to write standardized exams such as TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, and GMAT before you can apply? If you do not wish to write any of these exams or tests, automatically disregard any school that requests for this test course, because there are many schools that waive the requirements for most of this test. So make sure you take advantage of that. You can scrap out any school that asks you to write any test. Next, are you able to meet up with the application deadline for full financial support? If the deadline is too tight for you, simply focus on schools that will give you enough time to complete your application materials. Most early application deadlines are usually around late November and early December. Some late application deadlines go into January 15th, between January 15th and the first week of February. Some cases, they even extend up to the first week of March. I would advise you to try and focus on getting your application out and sent to the university latest by December. Is an application fee required? If yes, can you afford it? If the answer is no, can you ask for an application fee waiver? Application fees can be expensive. So if there's a way you can have it waived, or if there's a way you would not have to pay it, I highly recommend you go for it. The next question you should think about answering is, do you like the research that faculties or professors at this university are conducting? If yes, do you have at least 2 professors you would like to work with? If your answer to both questions is no, then you should not consider that school. If your answer to both questions is yes, then you should certainly consider that school, provided it meets your other requirements. Next, does every school on your list offer full financial support for your program? Double check to make sure that you are only considering schools that can potentially allow you to study in the US for free. Free. That's the key word. Do you like the location of the universities on your list? For this one, you should consider certain factors such as the weather and proximity to family and friends. It will be a big help if you already have friends or family in the place where your university is located. The support you will receive from them can save you a lot of financial stress. Trust me. And finally, do you want to live in a large and probably expensive city such as New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, Boston, etc.? If so, use the usnews.com filter accordingly and come up with your list. But please note, usually students in bigger cities have a harder time making ends meet because their cost of living is simply too high compared to the national average for students. At this point, you should be well equipped on how to build your university list and rank them based on your defined preferences. Remember to have a mix of safe and ambitious schools. You do not want to sell yourself short, and at the same time, you should not put all your eggs in one basket. By that I mean, definitely apply to multiple places. Always keep an open mind and give every opportunity a fair consideration. The debate of safe schools and ambitious schools is one of the oldest ones I've seen. Now, essentially, some people only apply to safe schools because they do not trust their qualifications and they feel like they just want to apply to safety net schools. And those are schools that you think you can easily get into without doing too much work. And ambitious schools are schools that are asking for way too much than you can offer. So my general recommendation is for you to have a healthy mix of both. If possible, if you're targeting 10 schools, apply to 5 safe schools and 5 ambitious schools. Just spread out your options and keep an open mind, because you never know. Next week, in part 2 of this series, I will teach you how to manage your application checklist, prepare your application materials, and submit a successful graduate school application. So you do not want to miss that episode. Well, that's it. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications for this channel so you get notified once I upload future videos. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who could benefit from it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to always pursue growth.